Sounds good. Alrighty, so this is the pre-bid conference for paving and drainage improvements for Chapel Belle Lane and Tamerlaine Drive. This is a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting. So here we are. I hope that if some folks could review the recorded version online on the city's website. Just as an intro, I'll kind of introduce myself and the city staff. My name is Mike McClung with RPS. We are the design engineer for the project.
Calder Reyes for RPS and project engineer.
I've got one.
Okay.
I'm Steve Smith. I'm Director of Public Works for the city. Karen?
And I'm Karen Glenn. I'm the city administrator for Bunker Hill Village.
All right. So obviously the owner of the project is the city of Bunker Hill Village. Sealed bids, including one original, one copy, and one electronic copy, will be delivered or will be needed to be delivered to the city of Bunker Hill Village City Hall, Office of the City Secretary, 11977 Memorial Drive, on or before 10 a.m. December 16th. So that's a week from today. And please get them before 10 a.m. If not, we will have to throw those bids out. So at that time, we will read out aloud the names of the firms and their bids for the ones that are submitted. Please designate your package if you're delivering it with the project name, paving and drainage improvements for Chapel Belle Lane and Tamerlaine Drive. Notice of award of the contract will be given by the city within 60 days. Our goal is to award the project at the January City Council meeting, which will be January 18th, I believe. Does that sound right, Karen?
Yes.
We'll award the project January 18th. We will let the contractors know our intent of award prior to that. But that's when city council, that's the next city council meeting for voting and approval of the contract. The contract documents are found on CivCast USA. You can also email the city or email RPS, and we can send you an electronic version if you can't find them on CivCast. A brief description of the project. This is the paving project. This street is in need of paving and drainage improvements. So this is a concrete paving project. We're going to reconstruct residential driveways and sidewalks. We will be installing RCP storm sewer pipe, inlets, and all necessary appurtenances. Other items included are tree removal and protection, sodding, and utility service reconnections if they're needed. That's really intended for any water lines that may be affected by construction. We'll just have to make sure that those are relocated and reconnected for each property. And then site restoration. With the residential neighborhood, you've got sodding. We're going to make sure that mailboxes are restored and all landscaping as well. Location of the work is all within the city of Bunker Hill Village on Chapel Belle Lane, and there's a small area on Tamerlaine Drive. This will be one, the work included in this project will be under one notice to proceed. It's all one project. The contractor will have 10 days to commence work once we issue notice to proceed. The contract time will be 200 calendar days. Liquidated damages are $1,000 per calendar day. Just to make note on Tamerlaine, it is an adult. If you review the bid form, so Tamerlaine Drive will be an adult. If there is budget, if the city has the funds, we will do that project. That's the full intent. But just make note of that when you submit your bid form that it is the adult. The base bid would just be on Chapel Belle. All bids must be accompanied by a bid bond in the amount of 5%. And as a guarantee that the proposer will enter into a contract and execute performance and payment bonds within 10 days after award by City Council. So any bids without a bid bond will not be considered. It will be disqualified from consideration. Successful bidder must furnish bonds, as we just stated, and approves upon an approved standard form in the amount of 100% of the contract price from an approved surety company licensed by the Texas Board of Insurance Commissioners. City of Bunker Hill Village reserves the right to reject any and all bids and to waive informalities in bids received. So any bid that does not include bid price for all bid items will be rejected. So please make sure you're completing the entire bid form, base bid and add alternate. Make sure the totals, and check your math, make sure the totals add up correctly. Bidders should carefully examine the plans, specifications, and other documents. You're welcome to visit the site of the work, fully inform themselves of all conditions and matters which can be any way affect the work or the cost. If the contractor, if you see any discrepancies or omissions from the plans, please notify us at once, and we will provide either a clarification or a revision as part of an addendum during this bid process. Quantities identified in the bid documents are for comparison of bids only, do not represent the actual quantities of work to be installed in the field. There will be an inspector, we'll talk about his name in a second, but there will be an inspector reviewing quantities with the contractor on a daily basis. So the contractor will be paid for the quantities installed in the field, not what's on the bid form. Work hours are generally from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. No work is allowed on Sundays or city designated holidays without prior approval. Again, you're working on a neighborhood street, so we expect our contractors to be respectful of that. We've got loud equipment, work activities going on, so please make sure you're adhering to those work hours. Contractors shall notify the owner at least 48 hours prior to any construction commencing. Again, communication is going to be huge on these types of projects. So please communicate, when the project's starting, and we will continue that communication throughout to let the residents know, what's going on, what phase we're working on, what are the next steps. Ed Lloyd with Lloyd Smith and Associates, he will be performing the construction management for this project. He'll be your first point of contact for any project related issues, any resident communication. Ed will be your go-to person. And so the next item, just have a list of kind of the main topics, discuss the following items of clarification pertaining to the project construction document. So I wanted to kind of step through some of these. These are important for y'all to understand if you haven't reviewed the plans. Traffic control. We've divided the project into various phases. So we're not just going to allow you to blow and go down the street and then come back down the street. We want to make sure that we're allowing those residents areas for parking when their driveway is going to be unusable. So we are breaking it up into shorter segments, and we do expect the contractor to only work within those work areas, complete those work areas, and then move on to the next phase. Staging areas. So we don't have any designated staging areas for this project. So your areas will be limited to your work zone, and we can work with you on the cul-de-sac, but those are the only two areas right now that are available. So keep that in mind when you have material and equipment on site. You are going to be limited to where those items can be stored. Driveways and walkways. So this is important. These driveways and walkways aren't just going to be your standard concrete replacement. So we want to make sure we're matching what's there. Some of these driveways are custom, whether they're stained, they have brick, they have the pebble finish, and we've noted those areas in the plans. I would recommend each of you to review those in person, take pictures, for your bidding. But it's important for us to make sure we're matching what we put back. So I know it's not going to be exact, but we do everything we can to meet the existing material. Tree removal and protection. We do have drawings and sheets for those that go into quite a bit of detail of what's expected for each tree within the project limits. There'll be root pruning, there'll be limb pruning, and then there are a few, I think there's up to 7 or 8 trees that are actually going to be removed. So please make sure you're following and you have a good understanding of the tree removal and protection plan prior to going to bid. I think we do have it's a lump sum bid item for tree removal and protection. Touched on it, citizen communications. This is very important throughout the project. We want to make sure the residents are informed of what is going on, current activities, the upcoming schedule. You know, most residents want to know, you know, when am I going to be impacted? When is my driveway going to be worked on? And when is my driveway going to be completed? When am I going to have my yard back? Things like that. So the city does a very good job of keeping them informed. So we expect our contractor to provide that information to our design and to our construction team, so the city can let the residents know what's going on. And then restoration, again, we touched on it earlier. We have mailboxes, we have some landscaping items, there's sodding. It's important that we restore the properties back to existing or better. Part of that will be yard drains. Several of these properties have drains from their on-site storm sewer or drainage systems, and right now they're just protruding through the existing curb. We're going to improve that. We're going to connect these yard drain systems to the storm sewer itself or the back of it. So we've noted that in the plan. So please make sure you're aware of that. There are bid items for that as well. In terms of the project schedule, again, we talked about providing the award of the contract at the January City Council meeting. And we anticipate notice to proceed on or before February 7th. So that's really the first full week of February is when we would like to get started on this project. And any questions, if the contractor has any questions or needed clarifications on the plans or the bid documents, the last day to accept those will be Monday, December 13th, which is next Monday by noon. Our intent is to submit addendum if needed by the close of business on Monday. That will give all the contractors a few days to receive the addendum, get an understanding of what's changed, and provide a accurate bid for a week from today. Now, normally we would offer the contractors to go on a site visit, but so if there are any contractors that would like to go on a site visit with us, we're happy to. So please contact me as well. So that's the agenda. Karen or Steve, do y'all have any other comments?
Thank you for your time, and we look forward to receiving your bid documents.
Thank you.